welcome to a special episode of Blind Grilling. We're kind of doing a 2-in-1 deal. We're recording for YouTube, but we're also live on Facebook. So I'm Chris Peltz with Blind Grilling, and today we're going to be answering some questions that come in that people ask quite often. Not so much about the cooks that we do necessarily, but probably one of the most common questions that not only do I get, but friends of mine, Jeff Davis from Flame Boss, for example, when he did a cook with me and went back home to Florida, was talking to some guys, and he was asking, is that guy really blind? Well, we're going to answer that question today.
Tom Wentz joined.
Who's that?
Tom Wentz joined.
Tom Wentz. Hey, Tom. So we're going to be answering that question and a few others, but to get right to it, yes, as a matter of fact, I am blind. Now, there are different variations or degrees of blindness that that may confuse a lot of folks. But just up front, I have no usable vision whatsoever. Now, I started losing my sight when I was 10 years old, and it's an eye disease that's called retinitis pigmentosus, or RP for short. And so from age 10 to 16, I lost 80% of my vision. And then over the next 20 years, it just kind of went downhill from there. It started with my peripheral closing in, night blindness, almost where you're like looking through straws. And then my left eye finally just closed off completely about 10 years ago. And 8 years ago, my right eye, which has been steady, has a light perception, not shadows or colors or really even shapes. I can just tell if the sun is out, and it's shining directly in a small little tunnel in my right eye, and that's about it. So I can't tell if something's in front of me or things when I'm cooking, shapes and things like that. I'm not seeing any of that. So, so no usable vision whatsoever, it's one of those things that and one of the questions is, well, then how do you do all this? How do you cook? I really pay attention to where things are, meaning that I keep track of everything. I set things in a certain spot. I always come back to that certain spot. I put things in certain orders. I label things in Braille. How do I find rubs? How do I find the type of wood that I want to cook with? And I've showed on different videos before where I have tubs of wood that are labeled with Braille labels, so I can read whether it's oak or persimmon or peach, alder, whatever kind of wood that I'm going to be using. I can read the Braille label and know what kind of wood it is that I'm grabbing. And the same with measuring things. When I've got measuring cups that have Braille on them, so I know if it's a 1 cup, a quarter cup, third, 3/4, 2 cups, 1.5, whatever it is. I've got measuring cups that have Braille, teaspoons and tablespoons, all of that, and I'm able to read in that sense. And so that's how I measure things. That's how I kind of keep track of things. And sometimes it may not have a Braille label as much, but I'll use like really wide rubber bands or really thin rubber bands, and I'll mark certain containers that way. And of course, if they're shaped a certain way, try to keep track of how those containers are shaped. So just a few things that that I kind of do to kind of keep track of things, and how I'm really able to do what I do without being able to see. And kind of along those lines, another question that I get asked, kind of surprisingly often, is why do I wear sunglasses? Actually, the first time I was asked that, we had posted a video to YouTube of me driving a Jeep at an off-road park, and the guy who's let me drive his Jeep, when he had posted the video, that was a question that came in, and since then I've gotten it a few times on Facebook as well. And the reason I wear sunglasses is for a few reasons. One, my left eye does some funky things. it moves almost uncontrollably. Not fast necessarily, I don't think, but it'll wander around one direction or another. And people that are looking at me, sometimes it freaks them out. Sometimes they know, wow, that left eye is doing something. But also, and granted, what we're doing today is different because we got 2 different cameras set up. But when we're doing videos, I really want at least it to appear for everyone else's sake like I'm talking to the audience, the folks who are watching me during the cooks, and I want to be able to look at the camera, but I don't know exactly where the camera is. Now, they're not too far apart here the way we've got it set up, but when you watch, on how to do YouTube videos and recommendations, everyone's like, be sure and look at the cameras, when you're talking to them and really interact with your audience. And I want to do that. But even sometimes, my daughter's who does a great job filming, sometimes she moves the camera going and getting a better shot of food or a different angle, and I don't even realize it. And so I'll lift my head up and continue to talk, and she's moved to the right or to the left, and then she kind of eases back, in front of me, so kind of get an idea. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I wear sunglasses. I can look generally in that direction, and it kind of looks like I'm looking right at the camera. But for the most part, if you watch videos in the past, you'll see that left eye kind of moving around or whatever, and so I just wear sunglasses so that's not a distraction for other folks.
Judy Church Haynes joined.
So, hey, Mrs. Haynes. Good to have you join us, too. Another question that we sometimes get asked, that I get asked when it comes to, how I'm able to do some of these things when I'm out here cooking, is how do I not cut myself? I've practiced a lot when it comes to cutting vegetables, cutting meat, and things like that. And I really, you want to pay attention, and it comes a lot to holding the knife correctly, but also, I use the side of my hand along the blade, and so as I'm cutting, I'm touching the side of that blade so I know exactly where that knife is. It's kind of funny. A couple of weeks ago, went to a knife skills class that was put on. Had Wusthof come in, and a representative came in there and did a great class at Countryside Barbecue Pro Shop here in Springfield. And there's probably 20-25 guys who were at the class, and 2 of them had to get Band-Aids before the night was over, but I wasn't one of them. Those guys could see, and they still cut themselves at this class, and I was able to do everything and not cut myself, thankfully. But trust me, in times past, I have. That's something that, whether you see or don't see, if you're using a knife enough, you're going to find yourself cut occasionally. It's been a long time, since I've cut myself, but it has happened. But yes, it has. It has been a while.
Hello from my town in Tennessee. I have no clue how to say it.
Yeah.
From Angie Gill.
Hey, Gene. Yeah. Awesome. Glad you're joining us. So that's kind of what was happening, as far as the knife skills. Just really practicing, paying attention to the blade, and a lot of practice is how, I've kind of gone through the doing the knife, work and that kind of thing. And by feel. And the same is true. A lot of people, another question that I get asked along the lines of the blindness part of blind grilling is, how do I trim meat? And briskets, for example. When you're trimming a brisket, you can feel the fat cap, you can feel the fat side, and you can tell the difference if you really pay attention on that fat that you're trimming off. Some of it is extremely hard, and it's not going to render down. That really hard, kind of a tacky feel to it, it's not going to render. That real soft and slick, almost that greasy kind of feel of that fat on a Boston butt or on a brisket or a whole tenderloin, you can tell that difference. And so I'm able to cut those off when I trim up the meats that we're cutting. May not be the prettiest job, in the world, and sometimes depending on the job that we're doing, I may ask my wife or somebody who's with me to help, kind of finish trimming the meat that we're working on. But for the most part, I can get all of that real hard fat that's not going to render down, trimmed up, pull the membrane off of ribs and that silver skin off a whole tenderloin, things like that. Generally, I'm able to do for the most part. But another question, and this is one that, I guess I kind of understand really, why folks ask, but obviously, as many of you know, my girls help me practically every time. So Hannah's behind the cameras now,
Yeah, I can replying to the comments.
Yeah.
Someone said, love watching your videos. Keep up the good work.
Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. But so they do most of the pictures. I did a video a while back. I think it was a live video of a breakfast cook that I did it by myself. I mean, Hannah set the camera up, got it aimed right, and then she left, and then I tried to do everything on my own, and it worked out all right. But occasionally, I do want to take pictures of food, and no one's around. And so what I'll do is I'll grab my iPhone, and when I get the camera on, the up volume button takes the picture. So I'll open up the Big Green Egg, and I'll just kind of aim that phone generally, and I'll start snapping pictures and just moving that phone in a circle and across one way and across the other. And then when my wife or my girls get home, I hand them my phone and I tell them, I said, hey, look at all them pictures I took and get rid of everything that isn't any good, and keep, if there's anything worth keeping, figure out the best thing to keep. So sometimes I'm just moving my phone around, snapping pictures until I get something that hopefully we can use and we can post to Instagram and things like that. So so that's kind of how I do the pictures when I'm by myself. So we got a question though.
Yes. Do you use technology that talks to you to know the temps of the grill and meat?
Well, yes, I do, and I was hoping actually to demonstrate that a little bit. I don't suppose you got your phone on you, Hannah, do you?
No, I was.
Yeah, go get it. But the iPhone is really the technology that I use, and we're actually using that for this live video here on Facebook, and it has speech, a screen reader called VoiceOver that comes built into it. And so I use that, and that connects obviously to the Wi-Fi, like all smartphones do. Well, the Flame Boss is the piece of technology that I use, and I hook it to the Big Green Egg to control my temp, and I can go to Flame Boss.
Oops, sorry.
It's all right. Let me see your phone. All right.
Hey, I'm from Springfield, Missouri. Where are you guys located? Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah, Springfield, Missouri. Yeah, we're right here in Springfield, Missouri. Absolutely. So, and in fact, we're over by Mercy Hospital. If you're familiar with the Springfield area, Glenstone, Sunshine, Glenstone and National, we're actually kind of off of Fremont Street. There by Mercy Hospital, Cherokee and Fremont. So yes, you go Springfield, right? So this is my daughter's iPhone, but 2:50. You see it talks, gives me the date. Press home to unlock. So so.
No. Oh yeah.
Obviously, yeah. So obviously it's her phone. So it reads, it talks to me, so I can go to messages. I can go to phone.
You don't have to go through my phone.
That's right. Which is why she has an iPhone. So as a dad, I can actually go through everything that she has. So anyway, yes, we use technology. I use the Flame Boss. And Flame Boss with their new app, which I hope to do a video review of the new app. I can monitor the temp. I can change the temp. I can do all of that with that Flame Boss hooked up to our Wi-Fi, and I can get on my phone and keep track of all that. So I can monitor the egg temp, and of course with the Flame Boss I can change it. I can set it to 250 degrees, I can raise it to 300, 350, I can lower it to 225, whatever I want to do, I can all do with this type of technology. So it's pretty slick. I also use a talking thermometer. I've got a ThermoWorks talking instant read thermometer that I'm able to use as well. And I stick it in meat just like most folks using an instant read thermometer, and it'll actually speak to me the temperature within 3 or 4 seconds. So that ThermoWorks instant read thermometer is just an awesome thermometer. I also have a talking scale, and that scale is really cool because not only can I measure the weight of meat, but it knows how much fluid ounces should weigh as well, and so I can actually measure out fluid ounces with that talking scale, and it'll tell me how by weight how much liquid milk or oil or whatever it is I poured into a container. So definitely technology is huge for helping me to be able to grill, to be able to smoke and do that kind of thing. I use a lot of felt little tabs that like on the stove inside that I can place on the stove, and I can feel where the start button is, and the up temperature, down temperature, and things like that. So I mark things in such a way that I'm able to feel them also. So that's another way that I use technology and able to do the kind of things that I'm able to do. So we got some comments though. What's going on?
Smiley Mondragon.
Yeah, Mondragon. Yep. What's he say?
Oh yikes! No wonder you are doing the show at Countryside because you live in Springfield.
Yeah, that's right.
Lyndall Scranton said, "Hi Chris, looking forward to having you on Tailgate Guys Radio this Saturday."
Yeah,
promoting his stuff.
Yeah, appreciate it, Lyndall. I'm looking forward to it too. Just a week and a half ago was on Countryside Barbecue, the Tailgate Guys Barbecue radio program, and we'll be again this Saturday, 1340 AM station, 1340bigtalker.com. You can listen worldwide. Saturday Central Time starts at 11:05. I'm going to be sitting in for Steve Kohler, who's out of town. So I'll be there with Lyndall, the host of the Tailgate Guys radio program, and you guys get a chance to listen to that on Saturday mornings. Great show, great program, amazing guests. I mean, they just are just packed full of just amazing guests that they have come on. Some guys that I follow on social media, YouTube. They've had Malcolm Reed and just a bunch of guys that have been on that program, and they continue to do just an outstanding job, and just a great opportunity for me, and thrilled to be on there. A couple of things we've got coming up as well, not only Saturday with the radio program. Next week we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, with the Big Green Egg Culinary Center. I'm going to be doing a demo Friday night, August 4th at the Culinary Center at the Big Green Egg headquarters. And then Saturday, they're actually hosting a fundraiser for the Blind Grilling Experience to be able to provide training and classes and equipment for those who have lost their vision, whether through injury or disease, first responders and wounded veterans, and others who have suffered vision loss. So we're doing a fundraiser in Atlanta Saturday, August 5th. So really excited about that trip and being able to go out and be there with them. So, we have some more?
Yeah, Smiley Mogren is our all-star substitute co-host on this week's show from the Tailgate Guys.
Yeah.
And then Brian Hinkle, the man, the mystery, looking good, Chris. Hope to catch you at Roswell.
Hey,
and then I commented, but you don't want to know what I did.
Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I appreciate you guys jumping on and checking out, asking questions and yeah, definitely, Brian. Good to have you on as well, and definitely we'll be swinging through Roswell next week, no doubt about it. Roswell Hardware, Gary and those guys, man, just amazing folks, and looking forward to getting there. Yeah, Coach. Yeah, I got to mention Coach Chris out there at Roswell Hardware, and Stanley, who swings by, the police officer, Officer Stanley comes by, so give him a shout out too. So looking forward to being in Atlanta next week for all that we've got going on. So folks, man, listen, on YouTube, if you subscribe, we appreciate that. Leave comments, leave questions on the YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll make this a regular thing. We'll come out, we'll just kind of sit down and answer questions, whether it's on blindness, whether it's on some of the cooks that we do. You got suggestions for cooks you want to see, things like that. We'll be happy to do that and get some videos, more videos up and running. But like I said, we'll be traveling next week, so maybe we can get some video footage of everything happening at the mothership, Big Green Egg headquarters and culinary center, and Roswell Hardware as well. So,
any questions?
With more?
No, ask them if they have questions.
Yeah. So if anybody's got any questions, of course you can. If you're on our live Facebook feed, you can ask those now as well. But we're doing this video. We're going to post it later on YouTube also. So if you missed the beginning of it, and you want to check out the YouTube channel, and subscribe to that. Trying to build up some of the subscriptions there. So we'll try to get this video posted up over there as well. So what's that?
Miss Angie Gill said the guys at Roswell are great. We always stop by when we are traveling through. Haight is 4 hours from us.
Oh, yeah. Well, 4 hours would be nice for me, but yeah, I understand. That's a long haul. 4 hours can be. So we're about 12 hours away from Roswell. So looking forward to next week getting over there and visiting and maybe hanging out with those guys a little bit and doing some fun things in the Atlanta area. And like I said, we'll be doing the demo cook Friday, August 4th, that evening at Big Green Egg Culinary Center. Get on their website, biggreenegg.com, and of course, check out the fundraiser that they're hosting Saturday, August 5th. You can learn about everything that's going on there, about blind grilling experience, the 501c3. That is set up now. We're official. You can make donations to that, which would be amazing. So we can provide equipment, adaptive equipment, and to folks who have lost their vision and are interested in being independent, smoking and cooking meats in the kitchen. Preparing meals for themselves, their family, their friends. We really want to make that possible for them, and we're going to do what we can to make sure that they have the right training and all the right tools. Which is, we talk about tools. I'll tell you, the Big Green Egg, and I've posted videos on it before. The reason I use the ceramic cookers, the Big Green Egg particularly, it's 350, 400 degrees. I can put my hand on it and I'm not burning myself. Yes, I can still burn myself on the daisy wheel perhaps, or when I'm opening up the grill and getting inside. There's a lot of heat that's in there, but finding my way around and touching that grill when it's hot, it's relatively safe. I'm not burning myself, leaving skin behind. And trust me, I did that with metal smokers. I did that with metal grills, gas grills and barrel smokers. So I know those things are just they were fun to cook on, but man, they were a nightmare for folks who can't see. So what do you got?
Hey, where did you find the stand your egg is on? Is that the old nest they don't carry anymore?
So I've got a table nest that my egg is on right now in the Challenger table. So Challenger Designs. They've changed the design a little bit. Not as boxy, I think, from last time I felt it. So they've made some design changes. So this was a clearanced out last year, probably last May. They were clearancing out the Challenger design tables that they had at Outdoor Home, which is now in Nixa. They were moving from Springfield location, everything down to Nixa, Missouri. And so while they were clearing it out, I took advantage of that. And so I've had this set up for about a year now. It's Challenger design, where my large egg is sitting. And what it's underneath, it's just on a table nest. Move that. That you can buy. They don't want you. They say not to put that, freestanding on just that little nest there. But when it's in a table, use that table nest. I don't know that. I didn't know. As far as I know, they're still selling those. The Challenger design tables, just like I said, slightly different as far as how it's more rounded, perhaps. I think. But they're still there. They're still out there, and I've loved it. I've loved the tables. I've loved the this one's got a sink in it. I've got a hose coming up from underneath. I've even got a dorm fridge inside of here, and I looked into an outdoor refrigerator, and I think on the low end, outdoor refrigerators are about $1,800 if they're made for outdoors. $1,800. Now, maybe for some folks, you can do that. More power to you. I can't do that. So I got a dorm fridge for $60, and it fits inside of here, and it's been in here for a year now, and going strong. It's been plugged up all winter, all summer, all last summer, and it's still going really well. But let's say it goes out, and let's say I spend, I go up and I spend $100 on a dorm fridge every year. Well, that's 18 years of getting a new fridge every year. Before I pay $1,800 on one outdoor fridge. So I'm going to do the dorm fridge. If this one goes out, I'll go buy another one, and I still feel like I'm out ahead. I'm already over. In fact, I've had this dorm fridge for about 5 years, and it's lasted all year out here, so I'm good. So that's part of my setup. I've got the Mini Max over on another Challenger table over there. So we've got the Mini Max, we've got the large, we've got our sink, we've got a bar area, we've got a roof over our heads right here. It's kind of a hard cover roof, and I raised it a little bit off the deck. In fact, I raised it 13 inches. I had a friend come over. We cut 4x4s, actually 6x6s, but raised it 13 inches above where it would normally set. For one, because of the high heat, I was worried about it melting those panels above us, but have had no issues at all. And also to get it to where it drains into the gutters of the house. And so I've got about a 30-inch eave, overhang from the outside walls. So this is a 10 by 12, but it added 30 inches by going over the gutters. So I'm really pleased with how it's worked out. It's corrugated top. We do have some hail damage. It came through the first layer. And so every once in a while folks look up and say it looks like there's holes up there, but it didn't come through the bottom layer. So it's still good. It still does its job, and it's still holding firm and good. So really pleased with how that's worked out. And regardless of the weather, we're able to be out here and still using our eggs. And in fact, I've got a fan. I'm going to replace. I got a light that's hanging up here. I'm going to replace that light. I've got a fan that hangs up inside here that blows and kind of helps keep us cool in the summertime as well. So that's kind of the setup that I've got here. So any other questions coming in?
No questions, but Tailgate Guys Radio just shared your lively, and then Smiley said, "Oh, good to know, thanks."
Yeah, appreciate it. No problem. So, hey guys, any other questions you've got, be sure and leave them. I appreciate you following Blind Grilling, and be sure to subscribe over on the YouTube channel as well. We're going to get this video uploaded to YouTube hopefully pretty soon, as long as everything worked out well with the other camera. And like I said, I'm going to be heading out to Atlanta. If you're out in the Atlanta area, let me know. We'd love to meet up, over at Roswell or over at the headquarters. Like I said, I'll be doing a demo cook August 4th, and then we're doing the fundraiser on August 5th at the Culinary Center at Big Green Egg headquarters. And so really excited about that. We've got a lot of other things going on with Blind Grilling coming up pretty soon. So be sure and follow and pay attention to everything there. So thanks again for watching, guys. And as always, remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking.